Hi, Amy.
Hi, B.
In the very recent past, we both watched Match Me Abroad Season 2, Episode 10.
I can't believe that it's already episode 10.
I know there's only two more. I'm really, really
Well,
sad.
well, don't tell me that.
I'm sorry.
It disappoints me that they don't tell us how many episodes we have, so we don't know how long we have to invest in it. And then I
Yeah.
feel like we get like almost blue balls.
It's like we're dating the show and we don't know how many dates we're going to get. And we love them so much. We have such a huge crush on them and then they leave us. They just ghost us.
Not for all of them, but for many. For the majority, which is crazy when you think about the 90-day show that we just recorded. How many couples are we actually vying for? One?
Oh, yeah. I think so. One. And
Yeah.
this one is different. This one is, or maybe it's not.
Let's
Let's
just
talk about it.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Before we do that, do that. Rate, review, follow us wherever you listen to the podcast, and watch our podcast on YouTube at 90 Day Fiance. Honestly, I have some flickering lights here. That's always fun. Okay, let's start with Victoria.
I didn't notice the flickering lights, but now I'm gonna pay more attention to that.
Okay. Victoria does not want any more dates. So this is good news. Katarina's work is done. And for all intents and purposes, Katarina has succeeded because this seems to be a match.
Yeah, but what's the definition of a match? Like, do you follow the match straight through to marriage? Or do you follow the match until they're just like, yeah, okay, great.
I think until the K great stage.
That's what it seems like.
hmm Victoria shows her tattoo to Katarina. Katarina's response, I thought, was absolutely
Hysterical.
wonderful. Wonderful. She asked the same questions that I asked. What is that?
And why?
And we all hope that Victoria doesn't regret this choice of having gotten a tattoo with a guy on the second date. Then we discover that they have not even kissed. They have not really touched. There's been no physical contact between these two. And yet, somehow, Victoria feels that she can completely be herself with Darren. How odd.
It seems so strange. Like, I wonder if both of them are asexual, which I don't think that they are. It just seems so strange for Victoria to be so confident in this decision without that intimate connection. I mean, to get matching tattoos is definitely an intimate connection. However, it's not kissing, it's not touching, it's not cuddling, massaging each other's hands. Like there's a lot to be explored between the two of them. And I wonder if they're both devaluing their experiences because, oh, yeah, we got matching tattoos. Isn't that enough?
Maybe, but I feel like there's something else going on here that nobody's really talking about. I think that maybe Katarina has caught scent of it as well because
Oh.
I felt as though Katarina very much wanted to put Victoria in some kind of workshop for intimacy, just the way that we saw Harold work on physical touch elements of dating.
Well, he got like the very subtle touch. Very subtle
Yes.
touch.
But because this couple, Victoria and Darren, have done absolutely zero
None done.
exploration. hmm Zero explanation of the physical side of their relationship. I really feel like Katarina wants them to take that next step to know, do we have a romantic chemical connection or do we just have a fun hangout friendship kind of connection where you go and do stuff like get tattoos together?
Well, I can tell you with 100% certainty that I have never gotten a matching tattoo with a friend.
Okay,
I do have one with my cousin, but we're blood related. Not that
that
that really
doesn't
makes a
count.
difference, but
Hmm.
I have never just randomly met someone and be like, yo, matching tattoos. Yep. Best friends. Done. Like it's so permanent and it's not unsizable.
Mhm.
So it's just curious how that worked out.
Very, very curious. And then there's this weird thing that Victoria says if things progressed
Yeah.
between her and Darren, if things progress. So she's not even sure if things are going to go anywhere from this point. She could see herself coming back to Ireland for the sole purpose of visiting Darren and dating him more. And I was like, okay, so you need a little bit more progression in your relationship before you get to this point where you feel comfortable coming back to date him. Is this going to happen before you leave or not? Doubtful.
I don't know, it's curious that you would get to that point with the tattoo. And again, I don't know if we're prudish when it comes to matching tattoos. I've known you for, what, 15 years? We don't have matching tattoos.
Well, I don't have any tattoos, but
That doesn't matter. It just
it's not so much the act of getting a tattoo with somebody to create a bond of some sort.
it's the
It's just that
commitment.
or the commitment. Yeah. For me, I feel like it's these two have just hung out together. I don't feel
Yeah.
any romantic stuff. They have not kissed, not once.
Okay.
I think they hugged hello when they greeted each other, but it just seems very, very strange that she's talking about, okay, well, if things progress, I'm going to come back to date him and I feel really good about it. I could be myself totally with him. But that sounds like a buddy. That doesn't sound like pot-
Buddy.
a potential
Hey,
boyfriend
buddy.
slash fiance. Yeah, buddy. Exactly.
No, I think you're right. I get the same thing from them, but maybe that's their thing. No, hey bud, but that's what fuels their relationship. I don't know. People are different. I can't judge them for them having their own type of communication. I don't know what that is. It seems as though they're just like, as you said, like, "Hey, bud." That's what it seems like. However, the mashing tattoos and I don't man, I don't know this couple. Okay,
Well,
yeah, you got me.
that
You call me out.
that
I got
yeah.
I don't know. I
That
don't
is
know.
the point. There's no way to define it. It seems open-ended, it seems unresolved, and she's now going back to the United States. Her time in Ireland has come to an end, but this is an open-ended question mark sentence. Where's the period? There isn't one.
Maybe while she's gone, they're going to create this sort of intimacy and she's going to come back. They're going to revisit, and then it's all going to be wondrous. Who knows? It reminds me of Joanne and Sean, even though they were already married and whatever, all that shit. But maybe she'll come back and it will be similar.
Maybe, maybe. Shall we read on?
Probably not. But yes, we shall read on.
I get it. Probably not to them.
Yes.
Monica is going out with Bernardo again. My question is why?
That's not
Why
my question.
would you? What's your question?
It's not even a question, it's more of an exclamation and statement. Caipirinhas.
Well, I have to give it to them. A caipirinha is a wonderful drink. I would love a date going to a bar to drink a caipirinha. You and I have had many of them together. It is absolutely delicious. It is also incredibly lethal. You can have just one caipirinha, and especially if you're Monica, you're likely to be kissing somebody a lot by the end or before the end of that glass.
Yes. And I have to say, your husband makes an incredible caipirinha.
Yes, he does. Thank you.
But then I wonder. Okay, also caipirinhas, love, love, love. But then when they're talking about it, what about the fact that they're loving the caipirinhas, obviously. But what about the fact that Bernardo doesn't want to have kids? They're just completely ignoring it. They're just spending time drinking these beautiful, most delicious beverages and ignoring the fact that his life goals do not reflect hers. And
Yes.
that bothers me. She doesn't say anything about it.
She doesn't say anything about it because she's not concerned in the least. She has a lustful interest in Bernardo, and that is it.
And he is not even good looking,
I
in
don't get
my
it.
opinion.
I agree with you. I don't
He's
find anything remotely attractive about him physically, and especially when we know that he waffled on her about the question of kids, which was such a bad thing to do,
so
such a
gross.
misstep.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've been going out all week long, she says. They've been going out dancing, they've been kissing. Clearly,
All the
there have been
things
a
that we have not seen.
all of the opportunities for them to become closer, more intimate. This connection is really growing, but she has some concerns and she raises those with him at the bar. And that concern boils down to her feeling like she's pursuing him to make the dates happen, and he's not making her enough of a priority so that she feels like he's investing in her just as she is in him.
This is Bernardo and not
Yes.
Bruno, correct? Thank
Hmm.
you for clarifying, because it seemed as though he's blaming her for having another connection with Bruno,
Yes.
even though he knows full well that he's been working with a matchmaker. So how is that her fault? And he even said, you remember when she called him crying and she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry I cheated on you." He's like, "Nah, you're fine. Working with a matchmaker is totally fine, but now it's a problem." So I
Yep.
wonder if they have had the sex.
Difficult to say whether or not they have or not. I just strongly feel this is all physical attraction on
Yes.
both of their sides.
Yes.
And he's not making an effort because she is basically begging
Throwing
him.
herself.
Yes.
Yes.
Throwing herself at him, making the situation so easy for him that he doesn't have to do anything. All he has to do is
Yeah.
call her and she's there. What time, where, I'll be there. Get me a caipirinha. I will kiss you until my clothes fall off. Am I right?
I mean, how many caipirinhas does that take it? Because,
1.5.
depending on the size, but also, what is the
Size of
size
what exactly?
of the caipirinhas? Remember when we were in
Okay.
Lisbon and they were
Mhm.
like this big?
They were huge
They
Slurpee
were
caipirinhas.
massive in
Mhm.
Porto. Anyway, what was Bernardo wearing on that date? Did you see the almost like the pinkish shirt that he was wearing that had holes in it?
Oh, I
Almost like
didn't take note of
moth
that.
holes? I don't know if that's like the fashion thing. I'm probably totally out of fashion. Don't give a shit. He had holes in his shirt.
Yeah,
And I don't know, just his attitude about the whole thing, and I'm like, "Dude, if you wanna get laid, why do you have holes in your shirt? Can you not just grab another one that your mom bought you? Are there holes in his underwears? Also, grab a fresh pair that your mom bought you." But, like, the fact that Monica is just so enamored with this guy is it really highlights how broken she is.
absolutely. It's a very bad dynamic. She is basically begging for his attention. He will give it to her, but only if he gets something in return, if it feels like it's worth it to him. It's very, very clear this will not last. It's unsustainable. And in fact, the very next day, when they have this dinner date scheduled at a certain time, she's ready to go, waiting for him, I guess, to confirm that where they're meeting or something. And what he does is he says, "Oh, I'm at the volleyball, football, whatever it is place. And I'm going to hang out here and stay until later. And then we're going to meet up and have dinner," which
No,
is unacceptable.
no.
Hmm.
You give me a time, you give me a place. If there is none, that is not happening. I mean, that there is some kind of leeway. Like, I'm finishing up a job. I'm flying in on a flight. Like, there's some leeway with that. But you want to tell me that you're watching the game with the boys? No.
And you've
Mm-mm.
chosen to do this when you already had a pre-existing engagement
Yeah.
with Monica, and you're gonna throw her over for this instead,
Yeah.
when all you have to do is simply leave that location and go to her. No, she is 100% right when she said, "This feels like a booty call."
Mm-hmm.
I believe it. It is.
Rena 100% would be like, "Hey, hells yeah." Oh, no, it's Louisa. Louisa.
So I was really pleased that at last It seems like Monica is listening to the alarm bells as they're going off.
I don't think so.
She
I think I
says
think
she
she's
realizes.
I think she sees them, but whether or not she actually, like, vacates the unit, whether or not she leaves, we don't know.
Mhm.
She might just be like, "Oh, alert, alert. Imma stay to see what happens."
Yeah. Well, she does send him the text message saying how disappointed she is and knows she's not going to meet him later. Good for her.
Well, that's what they show us.
Yeah,
Is
we
that
we don't
true?
we don't know if next week she's going to completely fall into the same trap, accept his apology, and then get it wrong all over again. But I really am hopeful that at last she's seeing this pattern in her life and she's decided that she's not going to see him again. However, I have to point out that she gets this analogy about the Titanic completely backwards because Bruno is not Cal, the evil husband that she's supposed to marry. Bruno is Leo. He's the guy that she's supposed to be with, and she doesn't realize it until he's falling off the piano wood thing into the water and drowning in the
Mo
cold, cold Atlantic waters.
I'm only laughing because I made a very similar comparison at work today
Titanic. How random.
about people being on the "There's enough for 2 of us. You can get on this too." Let's move on, please.
Let's move on. Let's go to Ambert.
I
This
love her
is
energy so much. She's
oh.
she's so much fun. She has not stopped, and she's not exhausting.
But in this episode, I found that her energy was off. And I
Like,
don't mean that
where?
negatively. It was lovely to see that she was being quieter. She was letting him take the lead to see where it would go. She was just toning it down a little bit. So I like that her personality is not 100% on all the time. But I felt initially as though her energy was low and she wasn't saying very much because she feels so uncertain about Keven and what his intentions are,
Yes.
especially as they're going away on an overnight date, which can be a little bit awkward with somebody that you don't feel very connected to.
And I said, "She looks bored."
Mhm.
Their connection has fallen off. Just it seemed like it wasn't didn't have the right approach to talk to each other, and they were just kind of forcing it. And as much as I appreciated her energy, he didn't match it. He was so dull and lackluster.
He didn't give her anything back.
Yeah.
And he really needed to bring the energy because she was toned down and more subdued. Then, when she told him about her date with Glenn, he says something like, I know you're having other dates. I know you're seeing other people. But the way that he said it, it didn't feel honest to me. I felt like there was something that he was leaving out of that statement,
Mm.
something more that he's just not talking about.
Embarrassment.
Maybe embarrassment, maybe jealousy, but I'm not entirely sure if they're at the stage where he would feel jealous of her going out with another man.
I think he could have from the very beginning. I don't think that the timeline matters.
But what he says is that he wanted to give her space, and that's why he hasn't
That
been communicative. And that was like, nah,
That gave me pause. What do you mean you
nah,
needed to give her space? And she also said that. What do you mean you need to give me space? I'm only here for so long. I can
exactly.
understand you saying, like, I want to give you space to go on this one date and then let me court you on another one.
However misguided his intentions are with giving her more space, not less,
No.
he's definitely applying pressure now by asking her out on an overnight date because that really is a big commitment, especially if you've only had a couple of casual dates together. Although we don't know for certain how intimate they were at that hotel
Hmm.
still when they were having their third date. But the fancy hotel, the champagne, it's like, okay, Keven, I can see where you're hoping things go. Is that really the best thing to do at this point when she's got other dates with other men? You think that sleeping with her is going to seal the deal?
Is that going to woo her?
Yeah.
Is that
I,
really what's gonna capture her attention? Is that what's really gonna tell her that you're paying attention, that you wanna be with her? that
Yeah.
you are listening to her and that you're there for her.
Yeah, like, she wants to be chosen, she wants to feel special, and yes, having
And
a date at
not
a hotel.
because of her big hair, i.e. Glenn and his family.
Right. So Keevan just keeps plying her with more alcohol. There's this big dirty martini that arrives after they've already had their champagne.
Not mad about
So
that.
the thought that they're just hanging out in this hotel room having drink after drink and some food, it doesn't sit well with me.
It doesn't feel like one of those intimate and romantic evenings where you're sitting together and yes, of course, you can have charcuterie and dirty martinis together, but you can also have those evenings where it's the same thing, but you're talking about real things and you're coming together and how do I even say this? You're being real with each
Yeah,
other.
like having
It's
deep conversations, getting to know
thank
each
you.
other better,
Yes,
developing
yes.
intimacy.
It has nothing to do with the charcuterie. It has nothing to do with the booze. All it has to do is with your communication and the things that you wanna learn about each other
Yeah.
and what you're willing to divulge to each other and with each other, to yourself as well, you know? Does that make
Like,
sense?
it totally makes sense because on that subject, she asks him the question, "What are your life desires?" And he just, "Oh, I just wanna be happy." Oh, wow, that's so deep. This is exactly like when they were at the pub and she wanted to know what his 5 or 10-year plan was where he saw himself in the
Yeah.
future, and he's like, "Oh, don't really think about the future." Amber, this guy has nothing going on up here. He's not planning for his life. He's not thinking about his future. Run. Forget it. She has a definitive plan. She wants to meet the love of her life. She wants to have a family. She's got goals. This guy is nowhere near that. He still thinks that it's just cool to get a girl drunk and then get into her pants. No, this is not intimacy. This is not a relationship. But again, like with Monica, we're seeing these women slide into these relationships, but those are in air quotes, those relationships with these guys who are playing a part for one purpose only.
What are your hands doing that you can't give air quotes?
Nothing. So right here.
Like, I just can't. I can't.
Well, because we have people who listen to the show and people who watch the show, so you have to describe what you're doing so that everybody can know.
Well, I'm hyper aware of the fact that people are watching us now. So I'm sorry about that.
Didn't
Also,
mean to
I'm
make you
sorry
nervous.
about my face.
But anyway, whatever Keevan is doing, it seems to work. She wants him to take off his shirt and make out with her with the lights off. And
She also said she was going to take her lashes off. And
yeah,
I know you well enough to know that that's not a part of your evening thing. And also myself. Like, I am like, you're lucky if I'm taking my makeup off in the evening, let alone my eyelashes. I've worn eyelashes twice in my life. One was for a wedding and one was for boudoir photo shoot.
mm. Do people take them off every night? Do they have to apply them every morning and then take them off at night, just like clothes?
I
Is that
don't
how they
know.
work?
I don't
I
know.
have no idea.
I think the people that wear them. Okay, this is gonna sound really stupid, but the people that wear them every day probably put them on every day and or
They
every other
could,
day
but
or
I,
whatever.
I just thought maybe they could sleep with them on. I have no idea if this is the kind of apparel you can
I don't know.
sleep in.
I have heard commentary that's, "Oh my god, you took my lashes off." I don't
It's
know
a
what that
mystery to
means.
me.
I don't know.
I I'm not understanding anything.
I I legit don't know.
All I know is that in this
And no
moment
judgment, and no
when they
judgment. If you wear eyelashes, I don't care. I
when
don't
they
care.
turn the lights off, it seems that things are gonna get intimate pretty quick. She has probably forgotten all about Glenn now, even though she was texting him earlier on during the date with Keven.
During the date.
Wow. So I don't think Amber really knows what she wants. Okay, reading on.
Okay,
Let's go to
great.
Harold.
Oh, my sweet.
Sweet Harold is having another date with Amber. This is the surprise date where he doesn't tell her what they're doing. I was so excited to find out what he was planning for her. This is his chance to show Amber he can take the lead. He can be adventurous and fun, spontaneous. He can take the lead. He can show her his initiative. And it's also his alternative plan to proposing, which is what Dolly had told him not to do in the last episode we saw him.
Can I tell you something?
Yes.
As much as I was excited to see exactly what he was gonna do, as someone who was neurodivergent, I was also super anxious to see what he was gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my god, he superseded me. He took the role and literally flew with it.
Uh-huh.
I was so impressed with how well he took her comfort and her adventurism into perspective, and then he made it a reality. And for someone who's neurodivergent, it's so difficult to be able to combine all of those flavors. And he friggin' did it and he killed it. And we already know how much I love Harold. But for him to be able to successfully execute this date was so heartwarming and hopeful for me as a single. I love the fact that he put so much effort into this and it just worked out so well.
It was a wonderful bonding experience for both of them. I found it hilarious, his commentary about feeling like a stuffed sausage with a windsuit.
Well, I wasn't going to talk about that shit, but
That
yes.
that was I mean, he's
Yes.
so self-deprecating, he's so funny, and Amber, to her credit, she absolutely loved it, it was right up her alley. I felt like it was for her, it was a moment where she was really genuinely impressed by Harold, and so that
I think so
s
too.
made her feelings for him stronger.
Mhm.
And then he says, because she wants to do real skydiving, he invites her to go to Texas to do it, and I'm like, "Okay, it's not a formal invitation, it's more of an open invitation,"
Yeah.
and he's just excelling.
Well, it's not
He's
like
ex
he's buying her a ticket. Like it's
No, no, of course not, but he's catching all the little cues, the little social cues, like if her saying, "This is something that I'd like to do in real life," and
Mhm.
then he's taking it to the next step, showing her more interest and more initiative. It's just perfect. He's getting out of his comfort zone, he's exploring, he's trying new things, and he's showing Amber that he definitely can take the lead, which is what she said she wanted.
And he's living up to those expectations.
However, when she says to him, I think we're going to be seeing each other a lot, which is great, beautiful indicator of her future intentions towards him. And he replies with, well, I would really like to get to know your friends next because she has that series of tests that she had mentioned to us a while ago, the
Yes.
friends and the family meetings being one of them. She kind of backs off all of a sudden. They've been taking all these steps forward. And he says, okay, well, I'm ready to meet your friends or your family. I will be on my best behavior. And she's like, hmm, well, we'll see. She's
I
not
hadn't
there.
I hadn't got that.
All of her enthusiasm just
I
kinda drained
got
in
that.
that moment, and I felt like, "Oh, crap." Even though he's doing exactly what she wants, take the initiative, show interest, I will do the things that you want me to do, that you've said I need to do,
And they've also talked about sexual things, which
at
is
her
apparently
initiative.
yes, which is apparently not normal for her culture.
Yeah.
But then for her to pull back at this point
Mhm.
is questionable.
I really didn't get it. I definitely felt a strong pullback from her in that moment, and I was so disappointed for Harold because he's been doing exactly what he needed to do to progress this relationship. And I feel like her steps forward and step back are kind of arbitrary. They don't really make sense to me.
It feels like a production plant
Oh, okay. Okay. It could
because
be.
they know that things are going so well between Amber and Harold, and they need to create some sort of
Tension.
discord.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe.
I think things are just going too well, and they're like, "We have to disrupt it."
Shall we read on? We have one dater left this week, which is Sarah. It was a short segment, so you don't have to be too discouraged. There's not all
Well,
that much to
I
talk about
don't even
here.
remember it.
She goes to talk to Dolly about her date with EJ. What did he think of Sarah? What did she think of him?
Well, they apparently agreed to go on another date.
Yes, that is the outcome. It's positive. But at
But
first, we hear,
why?
why are they going out on a second date? Because when he first met her, he thought she was going to be the bimbo, the high maintenance Barbie doll. But as he got to know her more, he got to know her better. He does really like her. He seems enthusiastic. And Sarah is grateful that Dolly has introduced her to EJ. They both want to go out again. Sarah says she can't wait to see him. This is good. And I have a good feeling about these two, even if I don't really like Sarah all that much.
I don't like you either, but I really do like him. I think I mentioned this last episode. He's such a good looking dude.
Hmm.
I would
Yeah.
love to bench with him.
What does benching with somebody mean? Bench press? Yes. Okay. Gotcha.
That's a yes to
All
the
right.
listeners.
Okay. Do you have any other comments for this week? It seems like it was a very short show.
No, no.
Okay. Neither do I. I'm looking forward to next week though, and I'm trying to savor every last minute because this is it. This is the home stretch. I
I
think two
can't
more
believe
left.
that this is it. I feel like I
Yeah.
need to have more to say, but I don't. I feel like the last episode or the last couple episodes are gonna be enough.
Yeah. We're all preparing for the end. Before we go, if you're enjoying the 90 Day Fiancé Honestly podcast, please subscribe to or give our show a follow. If you have an additional moment, please rate us and help other 90 Day fans to find the show. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, everyone.
See you next week.